Today we're going to be talking about backpacking gear. What gear you need to buy first. Is a video in a series of videos about how to backpack. So be sure to check out all the other videos if you have additional questions about how to start backpacking. Let's get started. Now let's at least be honest with each other here. The first thing that most people want to buy for backpacking is a backpack. But please do not do this. It's not the recipe for success. First, you need to calm down and don't go out and buy a backpack first. The first item that you need to buy is something that's gonna go on the inside of your pack that's gonna keep you cozy at night. The first thing that you need to buy is a shelter system. Be it a tent like this is the Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL3, or you're a hammocker. You gotta figure out your whole hammock system before you buy a backpack, because your shelter is gonna determine what extra kind of gear you're gonna have to bring. How much real estate are you gonna give up in your pack for your shelter? If you're a hammocker, you're gonna have to buy hammock straps, a ridge line, a tarp, an underquilt, an overquilt. There are a lot of things to think about when determining what type of shelter you want. For me, I love both ways of backpacking. I love hammocking. When I was on a service trip in Mexico, all we did was sleep in hammocks. Every night I slept in a hammock because it was so hot, you didn't want to sleep in a bed. But for me, after experiencing my own experience in the backcountry, I determined that I like to be a ground dweller. Some people do not like tents. Not the point of the video. Why am I talking about this? So the first piece of gear you need to determine is your shelter. Tent, hammock, freestanding, non-freestanding. You gotta figure it out. The next thing that you have to determine, stop barking! The next thing you have to determine is your sleep system. You have to determine what's gonna keep you warm at night. Are you gonna go with a sleeping bag, or are you gonna go with a quilt? Are you gonna go with a self-inflating pad? Are you gonna go with an air pad or a closed cell foam pad? Each one of these items is gonna bring their own weight, their own pros, and their own cons, and you have to determine which one is right for you. For example, if you go with a down bag like this one, you're gonna be able to compress it a lot smaller, taking up less space in your pack. If you go with a closed cell foam pad, you're gonna have to strap it onto the outside of your pack. But if you go with something like this, an air pad, they pack down super small, they're super comfortable, and it's hard to find something to complain about this. Maybe the price, I don't know. But the second thing you need to buy is your sleep system. Your sleeping bag and your sleeping pad. Together, these are two items that are gonna take up the most room in your pack, so it's very important to figure out what you're gonna use. Whew. Okay guys, now that you've determined your shelter, your sleeping bag or sleeping quilt, and what type of pad you're gonna use, it's time. We can now get a backpack. Oh, backpack. I'm way more comfortable doing this than I think I should be. Hopefully I don't weird you out. A backpack. Backpacking requires a backpack. Wow, that's deep. Now that it's time for you to buy your pack, you've got to determine what type of pack is right for you. I'd say there's 3 types of backpacks you could say. There's a frameless version. There's a semi-frameless, we'll call it, and a framed backpack. Frameless is just as the name implies. There's nothing. Oh, the frustration. Please, take your time. Frameless is just as the name implies. There's no frame, there's no form on your back. It's just a backpack with straps and usually a hip belt. Now, what I call the semi-framed pack is something more like this. The Hyperlight mountain gear packs. Whether you want to say it's frameless or you want to say it's framed, I'm gonna call it a semi-framed backpack for this reason. With inside this pack, there are some aluminum stays in the back. As you can see, they're bendable and they're pliable. They're rigid enough to give the backpack a little bit of support. All right, we've covered frameless, we've covered semi-framed, framed. Framed packs are something like my first pack, the Osprey Exos 48. These type of packs have a suspension system that gives your backpack more rigidity. Why do we need different types of packs? It's all based on base weight. No, not just base weight, Thor. Come on, man. Now, why do we have a frameless, semi-framed, and framed backpack? Because everyone carries different amounts of weight. There are different types of packs for different types of people who carry different types of weight. Everyone backpacks differently, and that's okay. If you use a frame pack, awesome. More power to you. Semi-frame, good. Frameless, whew, good job, good for you. Each pack. If the dog keeps barking, I'm gonna lose my mind. That's why we've got 3 different types of packs, so that you can find one that's right for you. Okay guys, we have covered in what order you need to buy your gear in order to get out on the trail. The first item, a shelter system, hammock or tent, it's up to you. A sleeping bag or a sleeping quilt, something to keep you warm at night. Then buy your sleeping pad, closed cell foam, self-inflating, air pad. And then after we have held in all of our excitement, we can then buy a backpack. These are the items that are going to take up the most room, they're going to be the heaviest, and will help you determine what size and what type of backpack you need. I've got a video on my big 4 that I will list up here that I will go over in detail, the 4 items that Okay, take a deep breath. Everything's okay. I've got a video that I'll link up here in the cards on my big 4. I'll go over the reason I chose the big 4, weights, and all the details you could want to know about those items. You guys, thank you so much for clicking that video. If you found any value, smash the like button, comment below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Just please stop barking. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Remember, this is just one video in a whole series of videos on how to backpack. So check out my channel, check out the extra videos on other ways to start backpacking. And as always, bro. And as all, is this a joke? And as always, thanks for stopping by.